Greetings. I'm Bishara Wilson. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I'm the owner of Brooklyn-based New York Sports Acupuncture, where this year I'm celebrating 17 years of private practice and over 20 years of clinical experience. I'm a master herbalist, and in my herbal dispensary, I have over 100 different types of herbs that we use to treat all types of conditions, internal and external. During this time, of course, the thing that most folks have been wanting to get treated for and are interested in boosting their immune system and boosting the strength of their lungs from is, of course, the whole coronavirus pandemic. Where when we look at traditional medicine, we don't treat the disease itself. Now, there's some diseases and they show certain patterns where, of course, COVID was showing specific patterns, whether you're talking about headache, nasal congestion, sore throat, body aches, loss of smell, loss of appetite, fever, dry cough that wasn't productive, but there was phlegm. So we looked at all of those things, and there are different herbs that treat each one of those signs and symptoms. So an herbal formula that we gave someone might have like 12 different herbs, which together had a synergistic effect, meaning that all of the herbs together worked better than just one herb by itself. So there isn't just one thing that's good for quote unquote COVID, or one thing that's good for this, or one thing that's good for that. We have to look at each person's condition individually, and even constitutionally, whether we're talking about what's going on now and also their underlying health conditions, because we know that was one thing also that was affecting people during this time, was folks that had underlying conditions, whether they had pre-existing respiratory conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes. These were all factors that made someone more susceptible to contracting COVID, and how their body was able to respond to it. And sometimes with folks, that was actually a matter of life and death. In my experience during this whole time, I noticed that with the herbs, this thing would back up off of people in literally like 2 to 3 days sometimes, or even sooner, where I had some folks that were really in the throes of it with flu signs and pneumonia signs with this diagnosis that got better, and within a week or so were talking about they're ready to go back to work. Of course, everything was sheltered in, and some people were essential workers, and they were actually considering going back to work. And so that's been a blessing. And while Western medicine is excellent for emergencies, and Western medicine is excellent for like stabilizing people and for their diagnostic tests, they were totally unprepared. So it's been great to be able to help scores of people and their friends and family to navigate this situation and stay healthy even after contracting this whole thing and having the signs and symptoms, and helping them to get back to health. One thing that I've taken away from this is that, probably most likely due to fear, and just also wanting to stay alive, people are taking a lot more responsibility for their health. You know, I tell people all the time that you have to be a priest or a priestess of your own health, meaning you're ultimately the one that's responsible for your health, especially as we get older and our bodies aren't as strong as it was when we were younger. We could go to sleep anytime, eat anything, and our bodies seem to just bounce back. But as we get in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, we know that our bodies just don't bounce back the same way. So we have to have that discipline and know what we have to do for our health, whether it's what we do personally or even identifying the professionals like myself and others who are trained to take care of you in a natural way and can guide you according to your own body constitution. So it's great that people have identified herbs again as something that's part of our culture, that we have always used to take care of ourselves, and that we're tuning back into the earth And through that, that's the main way that I see that we're going to survive this thing, be healthy, and stay healthy even after this is all over. So thank you for your time, and I hope to speak and be in contact with many of you in the future. Peace.